Storygram Network.
Hello, we are the Sonoma Community Center podcast, a place of creativity, connection, and community. We highlight the artists, teachers, and the community that come through the doors of our historic brick building, often called the heart of Sonoma. We share local tips and shout outs to our home, Sonoma Valley. And we are your hosts, Molly Spencer.
Gerardo Diaz.
We are the engagement team of the Sonoma Community Center.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Molly Spencer. With me is Gerardo Diaz.
Hello.
Hello. No, really, I'm Kat Smith filling in for Molly.
And I'm Takeshi, sitting in for Gerardo again.
And Franco, give us an introduction to you.
Yeah.
Where are you from? All the things.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Franco Caramelino, and I'm actually from Argentina, but I currently live in Iowa. And I'm a huge Scream fan / Ghostface cosplayer.
So today we're visiting Woodsboro High.
Oh,
from
my
the
goodness.
movie Scream. So, Takeshi, have you seen Scream? You have to have seen Scream.
Yeah, of course I've seen Scream.
So,
yeah.
Where was everybody the first time you saw it?
Oh, my goodness. That's a good question.
Do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I was probably 10 or 9, and I was...
His age kills me, right? Every time he tells the story.
It's probably 10 in 2015. I saw it on syndication. It was one of my most favorite things in the whole entire world.
So good.
Yeah, well, I broke the rules because I was too young, apparently, to watch the movie. And my parents were like, you cannot watch it, like, not yet. And so the movie would come on this channel. I think it was called Space. And it would always come on super, super late at night. And I'd make sure that everyone was asleep, and I would wake up, turn on the TV, and watch it. It would scare me so much, but I still wanted to see it. That's one of those things. So, yeah, probably in my kitchen when I was 9 or 10.
That's me with Poltergeist. Poltergeist was my 10-year-old movie that I wasn't supposed to watch. But I loved it so much. But my sister, who's 4 years behind me, I guess it destroyed her for life because of the clowns.
Yeah. One scene that will always get me is Pet Sematary. It was Zelda.
Yeah.
The sister.
Yeah.
I still can't look at that screen during that.
So my first experience with Scream was opening weekend, 1996. I was living in San Diego, and I was so excited because I had heard they filmed here. I didn't know the community center. I didn't know where they filmed. I just knew it was Sonoma County, and I had heard there were film crews in Sonoma because everybody was driving by to see it. So I was super excited to go opening weekend because I'm like, I'm going to see my hometown.
That is
and
so cool.
All of a sudden, the community center is on the big screen, and you're like, that's where I saw plays. That's where my sister took ballet classes, all the things. And my favorite moment, though, is when Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott, goes running from the upstairs banister up the hallway where she goes into a restroom. And at that moment, when she runs up there, I elbowed my friend. I'm like, that's the dance studio.
There's no bathroom there.
There's no bathroom there.
Yes.
A bathroom could be there. You never
It
know.
could be there. I wouldn't use it for that, though. Molly will get mad.
You guys should set it up. You guys should set it up for Halloween.
We should.
And actually have people go in there and make it really scary or something.
No, we have a new dance floor. We have to protect it.
That's very true. It's so pretty.
So you don't remember when you saw it first?
I think I saw it about a month later, but it was still playing over in the theaters in Sonoma. And by that time, I think the hype was pretty much subsided.
Yeah.
And I watched it. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But, I was full of teenage angst. So
Yeah.
I don't think I appreciate
Oh, my God.
it. Yeah,
Hometown.
exactly.
Don't care.
Who cares about this? I cannot give
need
a
it.
damn.
Wow. So you guys watched it as soon as it came out.
Yeah.
Like at
Yeah.
the right
Yeah.
time.
Actually, some
lucky.
of the actors and actresses hung out in the alleyway who who was it? I think it was Neve Campbell. She was wearing that red pants with the number 5. And I can't remember the other person's name.
Courtney Cox, David
Courtney-
Arquette.
No, the one that passed away in the...
Tatum.
Oh
Rose
my
McGowan.
gosh.
Yeah, because she actually
Total
wore the
blank.
outfit, I think.
Yes.
And it wasn't her. It was Neve that wore it originally.
Rose McGowan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
I totally
He
remember
has
seeing her.
secret knowledge.
No, I remember seeing her wearing the
Yeah,
outfit. I was
yeah.
like,
What an amazing insight into
Yeah.
it. Like, not a lot of people have heard that. So this is great. It's going out.
I swear it was her.
Breaking news.
Up and down.
Right.
I was like, she looks familiar. Huh. Okay.
Well, something fun since the last time you visited, we actually have named the Scream fans who come here.
Okay.
We call them Screamers.
Screamers.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. Yes.
And I just
That's so
wrote an
cool.
article for the Sonoma Valley Sun called Dreamers and Screamers.
Yes. Well, this is such a dreamy place. Like when you come back as a fan, it's like you're walking up the stairs and you're like, I am on a set, quote unquote a set, but it's not really a set because it's real.
Right,
So it just
right.
feels, it is that dreamy vibe, magical thing.
It's fun, though. You can always tell who's here for the movie because they'll loiter around that banister a little too long. They come in and they look lost because obviously, magic of editing, it doesn't look like that. They blocked off the other staircase with lockers. They painted a giant panther on the wall.
Yeah.
We don't
there's
have the
that.
panther. If you're coming here to see the panther, it does not exist.
Do you know what happened to it?
Well, I think they just painted over it.
Oh, it was
It was painted
actually
on the wall.
painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they gave the lockers away to a high school. If you listen to the interview, the
Daniel Casabone.
Yeah,
Oh,
Daniel.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to marry these two interviews together
Okay.
so people can get a little of his story too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And he has the historical plaque, which we have historical plaques because we are a historical building. We just aren't Woodsboro High. So we love the Screamers. And I also noticed there's an uptick whenever there's a tour it's Spring Hill Estates, right?
Yeah.
Whenever they do the Scream tour over there, there's an uptick in visitors here.
Yeah, because every time that I visit and that I go to the tours, I usually end up talking to fans and telling them, like, if you're only here for the tours, like, there's much more that you can see. Like the Woodsboro High School,
Yeah.
and then this, and then that. And so it's like I'm constantly referring people. Probably that's why you get come see this place. Go see the fountain in Healdsburg. Go see Tatum's house in Santa Rosa. It's like there's so much more to see. So
Yeah. And then there's a house in Glen Ellen that was used. I haven't
Oh,
driven by
right.
there.
It was Rocha.
Yeah.
It was his house.
Yeah.
He used to teach at a middle school or high school, I think.
really,
I think,
Yeah.
Well, it was
Yeah.
the high school when I was there. Well, actually, you know
can't
what? I
remember.
feel like he traveled schools with me. Like maybe he was at Altamira and then he was at Sonoma
He
Valley
might have
High.
went
But
back or
Yeah.
something because I know one of his kids was in my class. I can't remember, but he was talking about it or they were talking about it.
I met Sydney Prescott's mom, Maureen Prescott, in real life at a party barbecue because she's from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in the first movie, they just have some like still photographs of her. And there's a little footage. I think I'm thinking of the right movie. There's footage of her walking into a hotel room in one of the movies. I can't remember if it's the first or the second. It's probably later.
Is it
But she,
the third one? I think. Yeah.
she said, by the time they called her for the third one, she's like, I act too. So they expanded her role a little bit for her, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, so her appearance in Scream 3, it's still up to this day. It's so scary.
It's creepy,
It's like-
right? Have you seen Scream 3? Did you
No.
stop at 1?
Maybe two. I stopped it at. But so
you have
three's
to
like
watch the trilogy.
okay, so it's a real trilogy.
Yes. Well, there's a fourth and a fifth and a sixth.
Yeah, I saw Kevin Williamson.
So there's another trilogy.
Well,
Sort
yes.
of,
Okay.
Hexology.
I think that
I can take you through this. Okay, so Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, 1998 was Kevin Williamson's first Comic-Con and my first Comic-Con. I actually got to walk straight up to him and say, I'm very impressed with your writing. I love you, la 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 la. Fangirled. I totally fangirled, but I tried to keep it calm. He did a presentation. I can't remember if it was Killing Mrs. Tingle or The Faculty. I think it was The Faculty that was coming out next for him. But of course, he had to answer questions about Scream because you've got all the Screamers in the audience, right? And I remember somebody in the audience standing up and saying, "Why Randy?" And the whole audience is like, "Oh, Randy." And it's like, that's why. You have to expect the unexpected, right? He's like, that's why we killed him. But in that, he explained it was always meant to be a trilogy. He wrote it as a trilogy. He wrote the first one and outlined the next two. He planned it. And then the fourth one came out 15 years later, an anniversary. And it's the last one that Wes Craven worked on, the last movie before he passed away.
Right.
So that makes it a little bit special, too. I just gave myself goosebumps. What is that? I'm such a dork. Anyways, and then some new group decided to revisit, and now there's probably going to be a million sequels. But originally it was meant to be a trilogy.
So are you a screamer too, or not?
I'm a screamer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm so mid on this.
You need to become a screamer.
Yeah, I'm completely mid. So.
Well, they're iconic movies, though. Like, he broke all the rules. He brought slasher films back. Oh, my gosh. He changed the final girl. Like, yeah.
Okay.
My whole film horror studies nerdiness is coming out.
Introduce the new rules as well.
Yes, exactly.
Like with Randy's rules. I feel like that's something that you can add to every movie now.
So, because you cosplay Scream, is there like a Scream con?
Ooh.
Oh, a specific Scream con. I think that they do reunions. So they did stuff, and so this creepy con that just happened, and it's going to happen again in January.
But that's more like a blanket thing for all things
blanket horror.
Right. But not like solely Scream. I don't think there's one.
I think there's enough fans for it, though.
Oh, yeah. I think that they do. So like they did some in Monster Mania, then this Horror Hound usually happens like Northeast.
Okay.
But it hasn't been a Scream one only. Just
you know what would be
Scream.
excellent? And if you're listening, plan this, please, Scream people.
Right.
A Scream cruise.
Screamers.
Scream cruise. Screamers, are you listening? Make that happen for me.
Scream cruise. Oh my gosh. Or we do a con here. Oh, that would be a lot. A con at the Sonoma Community Center.
There we
or
go.
at Stu Mocker's house.
I know.
Spring Hill Estate has tours of the house because they filmed so much there. Like, it's 52 minutes of the movie is filmed. See? Nerd alert.
The other day I was watching it again for like, I don't know, the 200th time or something. And I was like, how long is this? Because I was like, it says that I still have like a whole hour to go. And I'm like, wow, essentially like half the movie is at the house. At the Stu Marker's house.
I read somewhere that they got T-shirts at the end that said, I survived scene whatever that scene number is. Because it took so long to film it. And they would film from like sundown to sun up. Because, you know, they need the darkness.
Yeah.
It's a scary movie.
I think it's known as the longest night in horror movie history.
Yeah.
To film. Yeah.
Wow.
That's very special.
So you come all the way here from Iowa. That's how big a fan you are.
Yes.
Like, I come here because I come to work every day, but he comes here from Iowa.
No.
It's like my vacation time.
Wait, you're on vacation right now?
Yeah, we can say that I'm on vacation.
Oh my God. Well, there's nice wine here, right?
Oh, yeah. It's really, I love the area. I love California. It's like, you come into here, you come into the center. No. Well, I'm also going to the Spring Hill Estate tours on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They have like tours of the house, and then they're also throwing a party that's called Stu's Party essentially for Halloween, and it's Friday the 13th tomorrow.
It's Friday the 13th, but you know what's scarier than that? Saturday the 14th. Nobody's seen that movie, huh? Okay.
I thought you were going to say Monday the 13th or something.
Ooh, that's terrifying.
I was already thinking, like, why? Because Friday the 13th is gone already? Like, that's scary.
Oh, no.
But they do some cool stuff out there. Dane Petrelli, right?
Yes.
He puts up posters of, like, the scene that was shot there so you can kind of see. And they used so much of the house. They used bedrooms. They used the kitchen. They used closets.
Essentially, everything in the house is original. Like, they added, like paintings and things like that. Maybe they changed the curtains. But everything that you see furniture-wise is pretty much original.
Yeah. Every time I look at your pictures, I'm like, they didn't even change the backsplash tile. Like, it's the kitchen is dated, but it's left alone because of Scream, I think.
The tiles. There's even a kettle that's there. And if you watch the movie, that kettle was there.
Yeah.
Like little tiny details like that you're like, oh my gosh,
wow.
like this kettle was in the movie. So that means it's probably before the movie was there too.
Well, at least the owner is preserving it.
I love that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they do weddings and stuff out there. It's a rental property. I think. Do people live there too? Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
live there and they rent it out for events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I read that people drive by not during tour time.
Yeah.
And just kind of stare in, like, can I come in? No, people live there.
Yeah, people live there. Yeah, it's a private property. So they are not renting out the house, but they do rent the barn.
Oh,
so you
okay.
can get married in the barn. And then they're usually super nice. And so they would just let, I think, the people that are actually renting the property to go up there and see the house and take a photo. But
At least they're nice about it.
Yeah.
I heard
Oh,
about
they're
the
super
owners
nice.
from
Yeah.
the Goonies house,
Oh, yeah.
and they're awful.
Oh, yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah, they call cops and tell them to get off the property.
No.
I think they recently sold that house again, too. So I wonder if the new owners are so crappy or if they.
yeah.
Can I say crappy on a podcast?
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, I'll just beep it out. Just kidding. It's good.
So one of the things you enjoy is cosplaying as Ghostface.
Yeah.
You've taken some amazing pictures around our building. That's how I was first introduced to you.
Yeah.
He's the Ghostface in the display that we have out in the hallway.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I donated the photo and then the mask. And
It's vanilla scented.
it's vanilla scented, exactly. And he says on
Was
the
it
tag
the
too.
25th anniversary? Is
Yes,
that?
it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
So how often do you cosplay as Ghostface?
Well, okay, so my page, which is Mocker Ghost,
Like
is
Stu Mocker.
essentially...
Wait.
Right.
What's a page?
It's
Instagram.
yes, sorry.
Oh,
Instagram page.
okay.
His act.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I guess I'm a
It's my
boomer
Instagram
right
page.
now.
Yeah.
My bad. I
guess
thought it was like a
Instagram,
chapter.
Facebook, and-
I thought it was a chapter of, say, a Scream or something.
Screamer manual.
Screamer manual.
His
Yeah,
page
yeah.
in the Screamer manual.
Mocker Ghost episode,
like
like chapter.
Like an org or something, too. I thought, okay, your page.
MockerGhost.org.
Oh my gosh.
You
Go
better
donate.
secure that. Go
Okay.
secure that before this airs. Otherwise, everybody's going to buy it, and then they're going to
MockerGhost.org.
sell it to you for $1 million, and you're going to be sad.
It's
Well,
okay. I'll
like
just
in-
add 2 T to S's. Okay.
All right.
Like at Burning Man, they have different cities which are kind of orgs in
They
their own
do,
way.
yes.
And so that's what I thought you meant.
No. So it's my
Ghostface at
Instagram
Burning
page.
Man. Can you imagine?
Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, never mind.
Thunderdome. Anyway.
Yeah, so no, it's my Instagram page. It's Mocker Ghost, which it was Screamer_91, I think, or 96 for
You're
a
the
while.
original Screamer.
I'm the original Screamer, yeah. Yeah, I think I saw that in someone else, but I was like, I'm just gonna, it was when the page just started, like in 2019, around that. So, and then I visited the house March 2022 for the tours, and I started taking photos, like cosplaying at Ghostface, essentially. And I'm like, it'll be pretty cool if I just make my page solely about cosplaying at this location.
Okay.
And so that's also part of the reasons why I come so often, because I get to come to the tours and cosplay just for fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Literally
so
just for
at
fun,
least
so-
yearly you cosplay as
Yes.
Ghostface.
Yeah, that's the question you asked like 30 minutes ago.
I know. After this whole entire tangent, we come back to...
Sorry. Yeah, you're like, I have to do cosplay. So, well, and then 30 minutes later, here you go.
Okay, so at least yearly.
Yearly, I would say, how about 5 times a year? I haven't gone to cons, or I haven't done like other things outside of cosplaying at this place, but maybe I will be cosplaying somewhere else.
Like a
Maybe.
Comic-Con?
I guess I
or-
come here too now, and I
Yeah.
take photos and cosplay here, but yeah.
Let's do a Screen Con.
Big
Come
now.
on.
Yeah. Scream Cruise, remember. I want it.
Yes.
And you know what? The last movie, did you see the ghost face that was hanging out on the corner on the plaza? Just the whole town next door was going crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
I guess the production company sent, I'm like, I don't understand why, because we're not in the most recent movie. And I think it's
Right.
even set in New York or something. I
Yeah,
haven't seen
the
it
new
yet. No
one,
spoilers.
yeah.
But
Oh.
I know. I'm such a nerd and I still haven't seen the last
It's okay.
one.
We won't talk about it.
Anyways, but right away, everybody's posting the picture. I'm like, hey, Franco, are you in town?
I literally got so many texts. I kid you not. Like, is this you? Did you get caught or something happened? I was like, caught for what? Like, I didn't do anything for putting on the cosplay, putting on the costume. Like, no.
We killed Takeshi.
So it's the original trilogy mostly, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
Solid,
I mean,
yeah.
the new ones, they're good. They're movies. But to be a screamer, it has to be the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Wes Craven, Kevin Williamson, that's them. Mm-hmm. Can you believe
Marianne
that Wes
Magdalena as well.
Craven was upstairs
Isn't that,
in this building?
Insane.
that's why I get goosebumps.
You see?
Yeah.
He has a cameo where he's wearing the Freddy Krueger sweater, in case you didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it like twice.
I know.
It's so cool.
Maybe I'll have to watch it again.
You'll have to watch it again now that we're giving you all the tidbits. So people coming to the center, we can talk about what they'll see. The facade of the building is the same. We just don't have Woodsboro High. It says Sonoma Community Center.
Right.
So I think most screamers get excited just by the drive up, right?
Yeah.
Once you're inside, you get a little turned around because it's not the layout. I don't know. They kind of jump from the front of the building to upstairs.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah, pretty fast. You kind of see the stairs, but that's it. Like David Arquette is talking to Courtney,
and you kind of see the concrete stairs behind him. But
but the door opens briefly and it closes so fast, and then that's it.
Yeah,
like stairwise.
So if you come into the building and you go upstairs, that's the hallway they used for all of the locker scenes. So it was lined with lockers. There was the giant panther. I was looking at the water fountain. Our water fountains are different. I don't know when they changed them, but they had like old, kind of like 50s style white ceramic drinking fountains up there.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are gone. Those are gone. The banister at the end of the hallway, at the top of the stairs, that's where Sydney and Billy have their little... He shows off his fingerprints. I couldn't have been the killer. I was in jail last night. Nobody can see me. I'm acting it out.
Yeah, she has a hand up.
Wow.
And then, of course, she runs up to the dance room and ditches herself into a bathroom that's not there.
Right.
I think that and the principal's office are not on site. People come here looking for the bathroom in the principal's office also. I'm like, that doesn't exist. That was a soundstage.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then the printmaking studio. That was the classroom.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
They brought in desks and everything. So now if you come, it still looks the same. It's just we have giant printing presses and stuff in there.
You see, at the Scream Con, you could put up the Woodsboro High.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. We're planning it.
Yes, I would
We
love
do
that.
rent these spaces, by the way.
See?
Yes,
So,
with
you know,
Dane.
screamers out there listening.
Dane, I think he rented it last year around October.
Is he the one that did the sleepover? I heard there was a sleepover. They all camped out in Andrews Hall and played the
my
trilogy of
gosh.
movies. Yeah.
That's another thing.
I mean, right? Could we
Dane,
do that?
if you're listening to this, let's do
Somebody
it,
rent
friend.
it and invite me.
No. He did a costume party.
Oh,
Yes,
fun.
My friend came, and that was last October. Yeah.
That was before I started here. No, I was here last October. How did I miss that? Oh, I was working from home.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm in the building, so I know everything.
Right. Now you're here. Yeah.
I'm no longer remote. Now I see everything.
Yeah. No, he went from like doing the tours. I think for that October, the house at the to doing it here. I think for that October only.
How many people did he bring in? Was it like a friend's guest list?
How many people, Cadence? I think like 20, around 20 something. Yeah. Sorry, I had this in my pocket. just a necklace.
Just a necklace.
It's in my pocket.
I was just looking at, you have a Ghostface necklace and you've got your Woodsboro High
Like,
jersey.
Oh my
she
goodness.
also
You
gave
gotta
it to
be
me
kidding
last
me.
night.
Wow.
This gift.
Like he's
It's
all
pretty cool.
decked out, and he's probably gonna cosplay right after
Yeah.
this,
Oh,
and we
nice.
might take
Some
some
photos.
pictures.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Wow.
Yeah.
So, what's the most rare? Do you have any props or ephemera that you have from Scream?
From the action movie?
Yeah, do you have anything?
Nothing. The only thing that I have that is, I guess, like close to an actual prop is the mask, which is a 1990 mask, super vintage, and it's in great shape. And it has a really close resemblance to the mask used in the last part of the movie, which is at the house.
Oh, you
So-
have one from it's Fun Something, the mask company's Fun Something.
Fun
Is
World,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have one of those?
Yes.
You're
One
the
of the very
coolest.
first one, and it's actually a Gen 1, because, like Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. Like, I have one from the first batch that was made. And I think
That
that's the
is so
closest
cool.
to the real
I
mask
think
that you
that's
see in the movie.
better. So there was a series of masks they made for that mask company.
Yeah.
And they came in either white shrouds or black shrouds. And there's like 6 different versions of the face, but the one we know as Ghostface is the one they chose.
Right.
They extended his mouth a little bit, and I think they did something with the nose, but it's pretty darn similar.
Yeah. So to go a little bit more nerdy into all of
Yes,
Yeah.
like the Jin ones, I think the nose are more triangular, more like pointy, and they have like 2 dots essentially. One, it kind of looks like a dot inside. Well, okay, let's say this is. Oh, here's a mask. Okay,
Yeah. So
maybe not.
Demonstrate with your shirt.
I can't. Okay, here's the closest Ghostface thing.
Oh,
I
he's got
have.
this tattoo. Look at his tattoo.
Yeah.
You can't see it at home, but it's pretty cool. I should take a
Thank
picture.
you. And I have the Scream House right here.
Oh my gosh, look at you.
My
See?
goodness.
OG Screamer, flip your arm over. There we go.
In the moon.
I'll post those on Instagram for people listening.
Yeah. So it's like they have 2 dots, one at the very end and one like in the middle, and that's how you identify them. Then the Gen 2s don't have that. The eyes are a little different, more like peanut eyes. And yeah, there's been like a lot of changes to the mask. And none of them held like the same exact like shape. Some of them were like warped to the side. Of them like super straight. Like like all the different shades.
All the masks came from this one company, and then
they licensed it and took. I think originally they were going to try to not. They were just going to use the mask.
Scream.
But,
in general. They
yeah.
had
I
the
think they
license.
didn't know who the owner was or
Well,
something.
I don't know that they expected it to
I
be
remember
as
the
popular.
masks in general, like just a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, and he even says in the movie, you can get it at any 5 and dime.
Yeah,
like it was a costume you could get at the Halloween store.
It was just some generic thing you could get for like a couple bucks or something.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Not anymore, but now they're
those
vanilla
masks-
scented.
Yeah. And now they brought it back. So those masks apparently had that scent.
Yeah.
And now,
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
they
how
had
funny.
that really, and they all glue in the dark.
That's right. They did.
Yeah, and mine does barely. You know, so it's getting to the point that's like I've been wearing it for so long now, and I take great care of it. But
does it still smell like vanilla?
No, it does have a really nice smell. But
vanilla is like
it's
what, from the
not-
plastic and rubber or something?
I don't know.
I'll open up the
what
case. You can smell it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. That's fine.
It's really cool. Yeah, you're like, whoa, what is this?
You
smell?
know,
This remind
screamers
me of the
everywhere
80s.
are like, Kat, yes, I want you to open that case. And I'm offering this to you.
right?
I'm all good.
You get the Up
Thank you,
Close
though.
tour.
He's like, I don't want to smell vanilla today.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My nose is a little runny. I don't want
Don't get your snot on our mask.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that Molly probably wants us to wrap it up because she has very strict time restraints.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to talk about one thing real quick because we're going to marry this up with Dan Casabone's interview. And I was chatting with him about the history. And, you know, Woodsboro High was supposed to be at Santa Rosa High School, and they were going to get paid $50,000. 3 days shooting, $50,000. Like, school can do a lot with that, right? When they pulled out, he saw an article in the paper saying that they're at the end of shooting. Like, I think they were the scenes they filmed last. And they were at the end of shooting, and now they had nowhere to go. And Daniel Casabone was executive director at the time. And he's like, that's a great opportunity. The community center needs money. They need a place to shoot. This used to be a grammar school. It was opened as a grammar school. So he's like, come take a look. Maybe you'll like it. So beginning of his real estate career, he negotiated up the price a lot. He said triple. I was looking at budgets on IMDb or somewhere, and I saw much more than triple. But at any rate, like, the community center really scored from that deal. But they were really mad because that cost them like $350,000 that they weren't planning to spend.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
Because, you know, they had to bring in the lockers. They had to bring in the desks. They had to make it into a high school.
Right.
So that was just a cool little tidbit, I
Yeah,
thought.
he talks all about it in the interview.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
edited
why I'm
it
reeling
all
it
out.
back. I'm reeling it back because he can tell his own story.
Yeah, it's
That's so
actually pretty
special.
amazing.
And you know, like, I think it's really good that they ended up here because, like, you guys really embrace it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of other places that really don't.
Well,
And they either
that's
don't
the
let
special people here at the community center.
Yeah. Or like they either don't let you in or they don't want anyone nearby. Like, you know,
Well,
like
yeah.
totally like, no, we don't want
We're
screen
open to the
people.
public. You can come on in anytime. We're
Yes.
open from, I want to say 9 in the morning till 9 at night, and then the building's locked. But daytime, anytime. You can go pose at our banister. You can look at our Scream display on the first
Yeah.
floor. You can
Yeah.
take pictures on the staircase where Courtney Cox and David Arquette had their little conversation. So yeah.
About being 25.
Yeah. And remember, all the spaces in our building are available for rent. So you can host a party here. We could do a fancy wedding with everybody in cloaks. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's options are limitless.
Yeah, Primus used to play
party.
here.
Look at a screen party.
You could have a screen party. We have a theater.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So cool.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you're off to a fun tour. Gonna have a Scream-themed Halloween party. That will be over by the time you hear this, but it sounds really fun.
Wait. So I have to do this for Gerardo.
Okay, yes. Oh, I know
What's
where
some
you're going.
good Scream foods?
Scream food.
Scream food.
Clearly
Yeah.
Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, I would say popcorn, like buttered popcorn. I honestly, every time that I watch Scream, I have popcorn and a Coke.
Okay,
I mean,
is that
it
what
could be
they
any
eat
pop.
also too? It's like
Well,
they have a
the
bunch of-
opening scene with Drew Barrymore, she's making the Jiffy Pop
right.
on
You
the
need to
stove.
watch Scream.
Yeah, you gotta watch it again, rookie.
It's been 20 some odd years.
Here,
right?
Cadence, play Scream right now.
Pull it up on your phone. We'll wait.
Yeah, no, but I would say popcorn. I mean, pizza, because like in the party, they're eating pizza and I think they're also drinking beer, but.
And when they go through the store, they're grabbing like ice cream and other
cream.
frozen things.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And chips, they're just throwing all kinds of junk food in the cart.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just
I was
junk
talking
food.
to junk food essentially. I was talking to Dane Petrali. He's the main guy behind the tours, and he was kind of telling me a little bit that he's gonna get some pizza for tomorrow night: pizza, ice cream, popcorn, and some pop. Do you guys say pop? Soda.
I say
That's
soda
my
pop.
Iowa.
I
There you go.
complicate it and say the whole phrase, soda pop.
Soda pop. He was gonna get some
But yeah,
soda pop. I think he's gonna get some
that's the
candy.
East side in you.
Yeah.
We say soda.
We're just say soda. We're boring.
We're so boring.
He's getting ready for tomorrow, so I cannot wait to go to the party to go see it.
That's so cool.
Experience the house at night, and then the tours the day after.
Do they usually do the tours in the daytime?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So this is a different experience. Ooh,
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, and I've only been to the house at night.
He should rent a
once.
news van or a white van that he attaches in satellites to and just park it outside there.
Oh, wouldn't that be so
Dane,
cool?
Dane, you got that from me.
Dane,
Next year when you
please.
do it, you got it from me.
Yes. No, he's been doing great things. He even helped get the stained glass window up there as well. So yeah, it's a whole 1996 look.
Cool.
He's done amazing stuff. So
Wow.
That's so cool.
I'm just blown away right now.
Well, I'm going to channel Gerardo again.
Yeah.
Do you ever stop for food anywhere in Sonoma when you come to visit the community center?
long thinking thoughts. Okay, so
doesn't
I go.
sound like
okay,
it.
so
So we'll have
there's
to
a
send you to
restaurant.
Costas Tacos.
Okay, Costas. I was gonna say there's
Takeshi
two
know where I was
places.
going with that.
He's laughing.
Costas Tacos.
Costas Tacos. Okay, there's two places. Hold on, there's two places. One is in Healdsburg though. It's not here. It's called Risi Bisi, and I had the best gnocchi, pesto gnocchi. That they have.
Oh, yum.
Risi
Oh,
Bisi.
wow.
So
All right.
good. And then the owner of the Scream House has a restaurant that's called the Washu House.
Is it Tamales Bay? By the
Yes.
way, that house is in Tamales Bay. I don't think we ever mentioned that,
No.
but that's very close to us. I mean,
Yeah,
it was all
yeah, yeah,
filmed
yeah,
in our area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good that, food there's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. So those two places are like, every time I go there, like every time I'm here, I go to those places. But
Well, now I'm hungry.
me too.
Is this what happens to you every time you record with Molly and Gerardo? You
Yeah.
end up hungry at the end?
By the time I get home, I'm all angry and stuff.
Oh, so funny. I guess I'll have to do the What's for Lunch segment with Josh on my own today. Oh, I catch the live
lunch.
show. Listeners, it really happens.
Oh, it really
It
happened.
really happens, yeah.
Wow.
That's fun.
Daily in the office, you can stop by for the live version of What's for Lunch.
What's for lunch? Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was so fun.
Thank you
I
guys
love a
so
fellow
much.
screamer.
Thank you. Once again, just the fact that you embrace it so much, it makes such a difference to a lot of people, like to a lot of fans like me, and you have the mask and the print that I gave you, like that means so much. So
We love
I'm
it.
So
we love
thankful.
it.
So
if it's
thankful
ever
for you
not
guys.
in that case, it'll be hanging by my desk.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll always be here.
It always be here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so special. So thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm used to live radio, so I don't really know how to check out on a podcast.
Okay,
And this
well,
been, you know, you get that.
And this has been...
okay, well, let's see. Like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast at Sonoma Community Center
Rate, review,
Podcast.
subscribe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right. Happy Halloween.
Storygram Network.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, hello. It's been forever, Molly. Nice to see you.
We're super excited to have you on our podcast today because you are the man that was here that can really tell the whole story about Scream. So tell us about yourself.
Okay. Well, it was interesting. I moved here back in 1990 and I got the job at the community center. I figured it'd be a neat way to meet a lot of people and make a lot of fun connections. And yeah, I was here for 4 years and had a fun time.
Early 90s, right?
You got it. They got me young.
Early 90s, they sure did. So when you were here, I know lots of things have happened. It was kind of like a heyday in the 90s. A lot of things happened here. I was here as well at that time, but mostly seeing bands like Green Day, Primus, all that kind of stuff. So these 90s stories are really coming out of the woodworks, which is fantastic. You know, we're celebrating our 70th birthday. And one of the biggest moments that we didn't realize, and you probably didn't realize, is that Scream was filmed here and put us on the map. Tell us a little bit about what were you doing at the time? You said you were director.
So my official title was Assistant Executive Director, even though we didn't have an executive director. So I had a big fancy title, but I was an assistant to nobody. So anyways, it was Ken Brown and I, the two of us were basically running the show. And I was booking the rooms and I was handling the staff and all of that kind of fun stuff. And anyways, one day I saw in the Santa Rosa Press-Democrat that a film was supposed to be shot in Santa Rosa. And at the last minute, the school district had pulled out. And I kept reading the story, and it's like, the building that they wanted to use is an old schoolhouse, and we're an old schoolhouse, and that one had columns and red brick, and this one has red columns and brick. And the article really made a big deal about this was like the final scenes of the movie, and the entire production was being put on hold until they could find a new location. And so
you read it in the paper.
I read it in the paper, yeah.
And savvy that you are, because I know you, Dan. You jumped right on that. So did you reach out to a production company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did my research. I found out, because in the article it said who the production company was, and then I found out who the scout was for that company, and it shows how long ago it was, because we didn't Google things back then, so it wasn't as easy. But anyways, I reached out, and they sent out a guy, and we walked the property, and he seemed interested. He said, okay, let me come back with my boss. Then he brought his boss, and then that guy brought his boss. And so here it was. We'd done 3 tours of the building, and I hadn't mentioned anything to the board of directors because it was just, in my opinion, me having a conversation with some people. And I don't know, I was just looking at opportunities.
And then came negotiation time, right?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. So we had the multiple visits by the different people, and I still had not said anything to the board of directors. And then the last person I met with said that Wes Craven wanted to come see the property. That's when I thought, maybe I should go to the board and tell them what I'm doing. But then I kind of thought, you know what? Before I get them all nervous and excited and all weirded out, let me just first see if anything is going to come of it, because who knows, maybe Wes Craven's going to say that, no, this is not what I want. You know, I don't want it. So anyways, so Wes Craven came, and it was so funny. I'm thinking, I hope none of the board members walk into the building when I'm walking down the hall with this guy that I think people know what he looks like, you know? So it's like, Maybe, yeah. Right, yes.
I mean, now they do.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. But he wasn't wearing his Freddy Krueger sweater or anything like that.
Probably not for filling out the location.
No.
Well, that would be pretty eccentric.
Oh, that's something.
Good story.
God. So he walked through and he totally liked it and we hit it off and everything. And so then that's when I thought, okay, now I need to go take this to the board and tell them what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's when it got interesting.
So that's when it got interesting. So next steps is contracting. I think you might have mentioned, was the board not very excited about it, or what were their thoughts on it?
No, it was interesting. I was raised in a family where we had a small business and we would always be hit up by various nonprofits for donations. And, my family is of the attitude of, we will definitely donate to a nonprofit. But then if you find out that nonprofit had an opportunity to make money on their own and turn down that opportunity, wow, here it is, we're donating money and then they had the ability to make it themselves and they didn't even take that opportunity. It's kind of hard to hit up people for donations when you don't even try to make money yourself, Yeah. So anyways, I thought it was a great opportunity, but almost half the board disagreed with me and they felt it was kind of selling out. It was not good for the image of the community center.
I think all in all, it sounds like it kind of mirrored how Santa Rosa Board of Education felt. I don't think people really knew, and how would they know that Scream was of a different, it's the same genre, but he was always making slasher films.
Right.
So up till then, now it's like a psychological drama and basically changed the direction of movie making in that horror, so-called horror genre.
Yeah.
So understood. But so let's go to the good stuff. You went for it.
I went for it.
Negotiated a contract.
Yep. So the board, it was funny. I had to take it to the board and try to get the board to agree to even allow me to negotiate with the film company. And at that point there, no dollar amounts had even been mentioned at that point. It was simply, can Daniel, this 20-something-year-old, go and start negotiating with whatever it was, Miramax or whoever the company was. And so anyways, I ended up basically being a bit of a lobbyist, and I went to the different board members, and I knew this board member was into music. And so I said, if I can get you to vote my way, we can earmark a certain percentage of the funds for the music program. You're into pottery, we can earmark a certain amount. And so anyways, I kind of was a lobbyist and was able to get the majority of the board to all vote my way. And so I had to make a whole lot of people happy just to be able to let me move forward with even having that conversation with them.
Now, this sounds like some real movie making business, even here in Sonoma. It's like no matter where you are, whatever field you're in, and I think the listeners don't know that you're like Mr. Real Estate. We can get into that, but Dan is quite finding his talents at the community center that then manifested in town. I mean, you're Mr. Sonoma.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And it was interesting because I had fun negotiating the deal. It felt good for me knowing that, I was going to have an opportunity to help fill the coffers of this nonprofit that had always been struggling. We had a mortgage. We were always making the minimum payments. I studied business finance and economics. And growing up, my parents had a lawnmower shop. So at age 8 or 9, I was learning how to sell lawnmowers. And if somebody didn't want to necessarily buy that next model up, I'd say, okay, how about if we do this? I'll sell you this model up and we'll throw in a free bag of fertilizer and we'll deliver the lawnmower tonight. Yes. So I learned how to negotiate. And so it was kind of fun to get back into that. And so then I got to do it with the film company.
Yeah, we are a nonprofit still. And there's as much importance as running arts programming and being a community center and somewhere for everywhere to come and feel welcome, as having someone that's on the business side, knowing that to protect this building and keep it going. So thank you for that. So you've made the deal. I think it was 1996, right?
Yeah, I think it was 96. Yeah. So they offered a certain amount. And the cool thing was, since they were just dealing with this 20-something-year-old that just worked for a nonprofit, I think they thought that they were just like, whatever they offered, we were just going to say, yeah, we'll take it. And so, but I was super, super nice. And the dollar amount that they offered, I said, rather than that being the use of the building for that whole period of time, I see that more as the daily rate. So anyways, I was able to get them up in price. So ultimately, in the end, I got 7 times what they originally offered. 7 times.
You're going to hear a hand high five. Better one right now. So I love to hear that.
So it was super neat because, here it is. I was able to get enough money from the film company to be able to pay off the mortgage. I was able to give the film company the ability to finish this movie that was probably costing them a whole lot of money every day that it wasn't in production.
Yeah.
I also was able to get all of the tenants in the building into other buildings for those days of filming.
I was going to ask you next steps, like getting down to, because there's always so much going on, programming, whatever it is. I think it's even fuller now than it probably was back then. But you also, people weren't misplaced.
Yep.
You just put them out and then brought them back. How long was filming anyway?
They were here for about a week. It was
that's it.
Yeah, it was just a week. Yeah. So not one single class got canceled. Not one single tenant went without having their normal scheduled class at their normal time. So I reached out to the women's club, the Vets building. Back in the day, my mom and dad used to own Little Switzerland at the time.
Yes, and look that up. That place is amazing.
So when I wasn't working at the community center, I was bartending at Little Switzerland. And so anyway, so I got my mom and dad to let, I think it was one of the exercise classes, go do their exercise class on the dance floor at Little Switzerland. So
by chance, was it Jazzercise at that time?
I think it was Phyllis,
Phyllis?
Phyllis,
Oh, Phyllis Gurney.
Yep.
Love her.
So, it was neat because the whole community, I just started making phone calls and it's like, I'm going to figure this out somehow. Okay, I've got them on the hook now for the money. I've got the days. Now I just have to figure out how do I get X number of tenants into how many other locations. But it's like, it'll all work itself out. I'll figure it out.
It does work itself out. So, they're here for a week. Were you here on the premises when they were doing the shooting?
Oh, big time. Yeah.
That's what I thought. So seeing a lot of the action hook up, I mean, that must have been pretty exciting.
It was super cool. It was fun. But here's the funny thing, you look at them doing a film, there's just so much downtime between shoots. It's like they do the shot and then they have to redo it. Then they redo it. Then they redo it. And it's like, oh my God, 3 hours to do a 5-minute scene.
Yes.
Then they go with the bullhorn. Everybody has to be quiet. So everybody stands still and they do the shot over and over and over. But the fun thing though is, I got to meet all of the cast and it was cool because all of the cast and all the production people knew that they were kind of screwed until this location came along. So here I am. I get to be like, whoa, you're the guy. And so...
Wait, is there any end of filming wrap-ups? Did you hang out with Ned Campbell or did you take him out and show him the town, Dan?
Even better. It was nice. They invited me to the wrap party. So it was fun. The wrap party was in Santa Rosa. And I thought the funniest thing was the wrap party was in Santa Rosa. They had a band and it was super wild and super fun. I was there from start to finish. I saw the whole party. I was part of the whole party. And then a few days later in the National Enquirer, there was a story about the wrap party and how a certain actress who we'll say is maybe a friend of someone, or she's friends with people.
Hint.
Yeah, hint, that she had done something bad at the wrap party. And it's like, dude, I was there at the wrap party. I was drinking beer with her. I know that didn't even happen.
It didn't happen.
So I then knew that the National Enquirer could no longer be trusted as my news source.
The paper.
That's right.
You're out.
That's
it. You're out, paper. Filming here during location, you and I both have mutual friends. Emmy and Abe that were extras in the movie. Some of them don't even remember that time. They're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But how was that? A lot of the community was pulled in for extras, right?
Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to remember. I remember I just called all of my friends and I'm like, we just need random people that look like they could be in high school.
I kind of remember that because I think I got that call, but... maybe thought I was too cool for school, or I probably was working. I was always working, which is really funny.
No, so I was here the whole time, and it was my thing since I only won the vote by 1 vote to get the board to agree. So I had
Thank you, that one vote.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. And that money was earmarked to her pet project. But anyways, yeah, so all eyes were on me. I had basically half the board just watching to make sure that everything went exactly as smooth as I said it was going to. So yeah, I was here at like 5 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, the whole time, just to make sure that everything was going exactly as it was supposed to.
What was it like seeing upstairs? So most of the scenes are upstairs at the community center. There's 2 floors here, and it was transformed. Were there lockers originally still there from school before they came in?
No, here's the funny thing. So we didn't have lockers upstairs, but they needed to have lockers to make it look like a high school. So the film company bought the lockers and had them installed. They were just leaning up against the wall. And so me, the wheeler dealer, I asked them if they wanted to take the lockers with them, and they said they really didn't have a need for them. So while they were doing their filming, I reached out to a certain gym that I thought would maybe need the lockers or be willing to buy them. So I ended up selling the lockers to a gym here in Sonoma County. So those lockers were brought here for the filming. I said, if you want to leave them, you can leave them. And as soon as they left them, I sold them to a gym in Sonoma County.
We try to look in there sometimes, like, is that the same desk? Is that the same bench? And I think they're similar, but I think a lot of that stuff was cleared out pretty much.
Yeah.
You ended up with one plaque memento filming, right?
Yep.
So if you come to the Sonoma Community Center and you walk on up the front stairs, you look to the right, there is a plaque, a historic plaque for the Sonoma Community Center that Kathleen Hill wheeled and dealed and got herself. So we are a historical landmark. Well, what did you get, Dan?
Well,
and if you don't know, the Sonoma Community Center is Woodsboro High, but I think if you're listening, you're already well aware of that.
Yeah, so they called it Woodsboro High, so they covered up the big sign at the top of the building. They covered the community center sign with Woodsboro High, and then to the right where the plaque is that we have now, they put a fake plaque that said Woodsboro High 1926 or whatever. And so anyway, so the film company gave it to me as a gift, and so I kept it, and it's on loan and can be seen.
Yes, so thank you so much, Dan. So, this really wraps up. This is a part of a long series for our 70th year as a community center. And we're having a show exhibit of many touchstone moments that have happened here at the community center. So we will have a photo of that plaque up here at the show. So please come see it. I think it's best that it's not the original plaque that's here, although I get to touch it. It's very exciting, right? I get to spend some time with it for the weekend. Come and see this. I know for years after this, and I know you didn't know the impact that it had, but every year more and more Scream fanatics show up. One time I was teach ballet here. It's a Saturday morning. There's a bunch of little girls, little tutus showing up, and here comes 2 busloads, right? 2 busloads of Scream fanatics, some of them wearing the mask, some of them not, and they're running all over the building. They're in the downstairs bathroom recreating the scene. They're like coming up to the dance studio, is the same hallway, recreating the scene. It was actually really fun.
I love it.
And every year about Halloween, people come on up and visit.
How funny.
So, thank you for making kind of a pretty big impact and putting us on the map here.
It was funny because the timing of it also, it was right after Drew Barrymore, because she was in the film also.
That's right.
Drew Barrymore had been on David Letterman.
Oh, and she did the dancing on the table?
Yeah, she turned her back to the audience and she flashed him. She lifted her shirt and flashed him. And so, he made the big crazy eyes, but we, of course, knew what she just did. So anyways, that was one of the arguments when I was debating the board. What if Drew Barrymore pulls a stunt like she did on David Letterman? And I'm like, what? She's going to go flash the ducks at the duck pond? Come on now.
It's so funny that those type of things, people were a lot more, you're just a more reserved. These days, people seek those out and do those just to get attention and media attention. So it's interesting.
Times have changed.
But not a lot. Not a lot. If you come here at the community center, it's still kind of the same we're always trying to get these programs up and running, be a space for people to come and just belong. And we have some incredible events coming up, Trash and Fashion and Chili Bowl. But more importantly, the 70th exhibit is something pretty near and dear to a lot of locals. And we hope to share it with not just locals, but everyone and beyond.
Yeah, no. Sounds like fun, definitely.
Dan, anything else you want to tell us about this sweet deal?
I'm trying to think what else. It was kind of funny, though, after I left here. Today walking in, it was so weird just walking into this building, smelling the smell of an older building. Takes you back to old memories. It's like I used to live a block away. I'd walk to work and I'd come in here, and that's where my desk used to be. And then now here it is. I come here every Thursday for the real estate meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, in room 110. And see, I still remember the room numbers. I can still remember who the tenants were and all that stuff. But anyways, it's weird for me to sit in that room and be like, whoa, I was the guy that had to set up the tables and chairs when the table and chair guy didn't show up, and I'm now someone who's sitting at the table. It's like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of nostalgia. That's the magic when you walk into this place, because even just the architecture, and you sell houses, the way it was designed is set up that when you come here and you're young or you're really small, the ceilings are so high, you just don't get that feeling when you walk into places anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of the magic of bringing people back here. You're like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's such an asset to the community. How many communities have something like this where everybody can come together and have a space? Like, I thought it was so neat when I started working here. It's like, okay, someone's into knitting. Yeah. They can do a knitting class. Somebody else is into this. Even in my business, I tell people there's a real sense of community. You will not feel like a stranger for very long. All you do is just go to the community center, sign up for a couple classes, go to a couple events. There you'll meet people. So yeah, it's a super important asset to the community. And I remember, it doesn't sustain itself all by itself. It needs supporters. People need to show up and they need to attend events. And it's not just saying, I love the place, but show it by showing up and supporting it.
It's always the message, folks.
And she wasn't even holding up cue cards. I was not reading a thing.
I am now holding up a cue card that says, subscribe, please. That also contributes. So to hear more stories like this, Dan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your stories.
My pleasure. Thank you for including me, and I'm super happy that I was able to be a part of this.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a house in Sonoma,
call Daniel Casabone, 939-2222. And if you can't remember that number, I'm on the face of every shopping cart Safeway.
Thank you, Dan.